So here's the next project that I'm going to start kind of working on while we're waiting stuff for the golf bays. So right now this is going to be the third bay of Birdies itself. So this next bay, the next bay over to the north here is going to be the entrance bay. So when you walk into that bay, you can get in from either the street side or the parking lot. And when you come in, basically, you know, this is one bathroom here, and then there's one right on the other side of this wall here. These two bathrooms we're going to be adding showers to, so they are going to get bumped out. This one will get bumped out 3 feet, and the one next door will get bumped out 5 feet. And I'll kind of explain why that is in a different video. But so this bay itself, there is going to be a pretty large opening cut into this wall, so it'll be coming from the bathroom, probably to about halfway or so. Like I said, cardio over there, and then when you walk into this bay, this is going to be the start of basically the gym itself. So we're going to have all selectorized equipment over here. Most of this is Life Fitness stuff here. There is going to be an 8-foot wide, 50-foot long run of turf down the center, which is actually showing up today. That's basically what's been stopping us from continuing the flooring in here. So rubber flooring, it's got green fleck in it, so there's going to be quite a bit of green accents throughout here. So working on some lighting there too. That's going to be suspended from the ceiling. That's got some green in it also. But the project that I'm going to start working on today is actually acoustic paneling, which is going to cover a good majority of this wall. Now there is going to be an opening cut in this wall as well that goes over to the next bay, which is going to be pretty much all free weights in the next room. So basically the way that I'm going to try to do this acoustic paneling is I bought a bunch of 1x4s, and I'm going to secure them to the wall here. So the way that these post frame buildings are framed out is there's larger uprights in here, and then they've got wooden cross members going all the way across. So I have to put some type of slat or furring strip up to be able to secure those acoustic panels. And those are 2 feet wide. So it's kind of I got to try to figure out how to make that work because these ribs are 9 inches wide. So basically what I'm going to do is just secure those 1x4s going upright, and that makes it almost perfectly flush with these ribs as well. But I'll put the 1x's pretty much anywhere where I need them, mostly on the seams of those acoustic panels, and then I'll get those set. Now the other thing that's going to be happening here is a good portion of this wall is going to be mirrors. So the mirrors are going to be 4 feet tall, and the width is going to be dependent on just where the opening is at. But I'm going to cut the acoustic panels so they only run about 2 feet up the wall, and then come all the way across, and then I'll have another strip or cross member for the mirrors themselves. So I'll get that started and kind of make some videos as I'm going with it here. Okay, so here's what I've got so far. Like I said, I've got these 1x4s right here, and what I'm doing is just throwing them up in between these ribs and then securing them to these cross members all the way across. So these panels are about 94 3/8 inches. So I'm cutting these at the exact same length. So they'll actually be floating off the floor a little bit there. So I'm going to see if what the best way is to get these secured. I'm going to try these 18 gauge kind of finish nails because I can't exactly shoot the way these are made here. It's kind of like this hard felt board. I'm not really sure what this back is, but each individual oak panel is stapled to that board, so I can't nail through this. I actually have to try to shoot through the oak ribs here. So I want to use something that's not going to show up too crazy. So I'll try throwing this panel on and see how that works out. Okay guys, so this is basically what I got going on here now. So we got the 3 uprights back here, and then I've got this panel brad nailed to it here, and I think it's going to work pretty good. You can't really see the nail holes unless you're looking super close, and this thing is on here. It feels nice and secure, so I think we're going to be okay there. So basically now what I'll do is keep running these uprights. I think I am going to have to do every single rib, unfortunately. I was hoping I could just do them where the splices were at, but I don't want these to be flimsy. But this is right where the mirrors are going to start now too. So now I'm going to run the uprights all the way up anyways, but then I'm only going to have acoustic panels down here and then up top here. So that's what I'll start working on now. Basically, how I got everything measured out here is I'm 31 inches from the bottom of this trim piece down here up to here, and that 31 is going to allow me to get 3 2-foot sections out of each one of those panels here. So 31 will come across, and then I'm going to have my 4-foot mirror from here to here, and this is 15.5 inches, which is going to give me 6 pieces out of just one of those acoustic panels here. So, and then I'll have there'll be basically a cross member here coming all the way across that I'll secure the track for the mirror on, and then the mirror will sit almost perfectly flush with the acoustic panels. So now I'll try to see how difficult it is to cut this stuff without wrecking it here. Okay, so I was able to cut this pretty easily with the circular saw. There is some splintering going on at the bottom from the blade pulling upwards as it's cutting through each one of these pieces, but I think that'll be fine. I'll put that at the base of the wall, and then I'll be able to, I'm planning on probably trimming this out anyways with probably like some 2 or 3 inch trim there, but it will sit just like that all the way across, and then like I said, I'll have that cross member to mount the mirror track to, and then the mirror should be just slightly outside of these here. So I think this is going to work really well. Okay, so I got most of this wall wrapped up, and I'm actually really happy with how this turned out. It was actually pretty straightforward to do as well, and went together pretty easily. So ended up using a total of 6 panels. So I've got 2 full-length panels on the ends, and then these are 31-inch strips, so I was able to get 3 out of each one of those panels. So I want to say, let me see here. Is there 6 here? Yeah, 6 to 4. Yeah, so 4. Cut a total of 12 pieces for the bottom, and then I'll need another 12 more at the top, but those will just be 15.5 inches. So those are just going to come down to about this point here. So I'll be able to get 6 of those out of each panel. So that'll use up those last 2 right there. So this is a 28-foot span. I'm going to have 24 feet of mirrors here. So I'll get 4 6x4 mirrors. So the mirror will go from here to here. And the way that that's actually going to work is I'll put another cross member on here, just like that, and then my mirror track will get mounted to this all the way across. So the mirror is going to sit almost perfectly flush with this. I'll have it overhang just a tiny bit, and then at the bottom of the wall, there's going to be, I'll get some pre-finished black trim and it'll sit right up against the wall just like that. Now there are some waves, and some of these seams ended up between two boards here, but once I have the trim piece on the bottom, and then I'll probably trim out under the mirror as well, that'll kind of straighten out all of those seams and everything. But I'm not going to do, I'll get the lumber mounted for the top side, but I'm not going to cut those top strips until I have the mirrors mounted. So I'll get those ordered tonight. These panels cost $60 each. Like I said, when it's all said and done, I'll have a total of 8 of them, and then, you know, 40. I need a little bit more lumber, but just shy of probably $600 to do just this one accent wall. Mirrors are kind of spendy themselves. They're about $350 a piece. I'm just going to order those off Amazon because that way they deliver them, so I don't have to worry about hauling them from Home Depot or Menards. They don't typically carry mirrors that size either. So the other thing that's going to happen here is this is where the opening will get cut in the wall now. So this will be about 12 feet wide, and then I'll continue on and finish the rest of this with acoustic panel and mirrors just like that. So and then what's going to happen here is this is the wall that most of the selectorized equipment will be along. So it'll be leg extension, leg press, leg extension, leg curl, chest press, back row, opening, and then there's another 4 machines that go there, inner and outer thigh in front of the garage door. And then I've got some other equipment that's on order right now. It should be here in about a week or two. So yeah, overall, it's probably, I don't know, it's probably took me about 4 hours or so. So it wasn't bad, and I definitely wasn't flying through it. I did find out right at the end that I can just shoot nails through the lumber and it'll pierce the steel here and then go right into the cross member. So I ended up drilling and screwing all these, and then my last piece I ran out of screws, so I just tried it, and the nails actually were way faster. So I'll probably end up doing that on the next one here. But otherwise, super happy with how it turned out, and it should make it very, very easy to mount the mirrors, which will be nice. Last little update for today. My turf finally showed up for this room here. So this was dropped off in Moorhead probably like 2 weeks ago, but for some reason it didn't get on the truck with the other roll of turf that's in the golf bays right now. So driver just dropped it off, and we unloaded it together. So this is what's going to be going in this room here. So just some athletic turf, and it's actually going to be, like I said earlier, it's going to be running right down the center here, and it's about 50 feet long. Unfortunately, they only ship it in 15-foot width, so I have to cut it and splice it throughout here. But it's going to be 8 feet wide, 50 feet long, and then there'll be rubber on both ends, and then we can continue on the rubber after this. So this is what we'll be working on tomorrow.